Hi, my name is Ben Thompson. I am recently joined the faculty here at ETCAsia, where I teach Old Testament and Hebrew language. And prior to that, actually, I've been in the UK, where I've been a pastor for about 9 years. Actually, I've been in ministry for nearly 20 years, a little bit of a gap in the middle when I went to study at theological college. I've been leading a church congregation in the Cotswolds in Gloucestershire. I've just completed a PhD alongside that in Old Testament, conveniently, looking at the books of 1 and 2 Samuel. I'm living here with my wife Susie, my beautiful wife Susie, and my 3 children, Molly, Dylan and Finn, aged 13, 11 and 9. And we can't wait to come across to Singapore to be with you and to be involved with the amazing work that the Lord is doing in that part of the world. And that's a great question, isn't it? I mean, the Old Testament is a strange book. It is long. It is weird. Strange things happen there. There's a talking snake and a talking donkey. At points, it is very hard to understand some of the laws and the prophecies. Are just very complex. And it clearly speaks to a very different culture. I mean, there's no internet, there's no planes, there's no COVID. It is a very different world. As Christians, we follow Jesus. We find ourselves comfortably in the New Testament, but why bother with the Old? Well, I'd like to take you back to the very first Easter Sunday, to an afternoon walk on the way to a place called Emmaus. It's recorded actually for us in Luke chapter 24, and we meet there 2 disciples who don't know that Jesus has risen. And let me read to you some words from Luke 24. As they talked and discussed these things with each other, Jesus himself came up and walked along with them, but they were kept from recognizing him. See, they don't realize it's Jesus. So they explain to him what has been happening in the previous days about Jesus' death and resurrection. And they even say, verse 21, we had hoped that he, Jesus, was the one who was going to redeem Israel. It's a brilliant moment of irony. They don't realize that they're talking to the one that they think has failed. And they talk about the empty tomb. Now, what is going to happen at this moment? If you were Jesus, what would you do? Would you just go for the big reveal? It's me, look, I'm here. Well, no. Do you know what Jesus does? Verse 25. He said to them, how foolish you are, and how slow to believe all that the prophets have spoken. Did not the Messiah have to suffer these things and then enter his glory? And beginning with Moses and all the prophets, he explained to them what was said in all the scriptures concerning himself. See, Jesus, on that walk to Emmaus, gives them a Bible study, or perhaps a Bible overview. He shows them how their scriptures, what we call the Old Testament, what he called Moses and the prophets, created an expectation of a coming Messiah who would suffer and die and rise again to save the world. And as he explains that, he's saying to them, don't you see that pattern, that expectation maps perfectly onto him? And it's only later, as they share a meal together, that their eyes are open to recognize Jesus. And let me read you what happens then. Verse 32. They asked each other, were not our hearts burning within us? You see, their hearts burned within them. Why? Well, not when Jesus broke the bread. Their hearts didn't burn when their eyes were open to recognize him. Our hearts were burning within us, verse 32, while he talked with us on the road and opened the scriptures to us. So what does that mean? So if Jesus came down to spend the afternoon with you today, if you had the chance for a one-to-one with the Lord Jesus, I mean, wouldn't that be wonderful? What would he want to talk to you about? Now, I want to be a little cautious about presuming to think I know what Jesus would talk to you about. I mean, he's the Lord. He can do what he wants. But Luke 24 points us in a very clear direction. He would open the scriptures with us. He would he would open Moses and the prophets, what we call the Old Testament. And you would find it thrilling. Your heart would burn within you. Which brings us, I think, to the second thing that this passage says to us. It says you can spend a lot of time around Jesus, as those two disciples had, but you will not truly know him unless you know him as the one that the Old Testament speaks of. If you want to know the Lord Jesus, and I trust every Christian wants to know the Lord Jesus, then he would say to us loud and clear, read the book, study the Old Testament scriptures, because that is the gateway through which we can meet the risen Christ.